Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. This morning, I am coming to you out of the normal environment. As you can see, I'm getting ready to play a quick game of golf here this morning. Yes, I am gonna play some golf. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna give it hell. Is it gonna be ugly? Probably. Will there be blood? Maybe. Will there be potential broken bones? Hopefully not. But I will report all of that back to you. Just know that no news is good news. All right. With that being said, as you guys can see from the title, I wanted to talk about something with you here this morning that was on my mind over the past couple of days. And it really is. It really comes down to something that like a lot of marketers don't teach this, and because they're too busy teaching mechanical stuff. Okay, so I'm going to teach you what I think is one of the most important parts of being successful with your marketing, and I want to show you how most people screw up actually building trust with their prospects. Okay, and and this is something that I've had to learn the hard way too. And I think when I reveal this to you today, it's going to open up your eyes a lot, and you're gonna see, oh, geez, that may be where I've been struggling. I often see a lot of times people are doing a lot of busy work. They're creating a lot of content. You know, they're uploading a lot of videos, but they're missing this piece, and so they're doing a lot of work, but they're not getting a lot of results. All right. So if you guys are ready to hear about that, drop a comment down below. Let's blow up the comments a little bit. Say hello, not just to me, but also to other people in the community. Good morning, good evening, good night. You know, whatever it is where you live. Um, we are in the middle of an interesting time here in the United States right now, with right in the middle of an election. But here's what I want to remind you this morning. You know, I know you don't tune in here to hear about my political opinions, so I'm not even going to give them to you because I think that we as entrepreneurs are. We forget sometimes that people don't follow us for our political opinions. You know, they just don't. I'm not a news anchor. So I'm not going to talk politics. It's not what you guys are here for. I know that. But I do want to remind you, the reason why I bring that up is I do want to remind you that I have been able to be successful in a Democratic and a Republican environment. And if you have the right skill sets, and if you focus on what you can do about your life, and if you create your own economy and you develop your own skills that nobody can take away from you, it really doesn't matter who the president is. Okay. And I just want to remind you about that and empower you about that, because if your guy's not winning today, and you're feeling down or sad or whatever, I just want to remind you that you have more power as an individual than you may realize. So with that being said, listen, there's two parts I think about marketing. There's two functions that I think are important. I'm going to give you a couple of tips today about building trust, but I want to cover the first part, which is giving value. You know, the first part of marketing online these days, and even like if we're doing YouTube videos, or if we're doing like even in my, if you look at sales presentations and stuff that I write and then record, like video sales letters and stuff that sell stuff, it doesn't matter whether it's a like a video that you upload on TikTok or YouTube, or if it's an actual video, like a video, like a VSL, a video sales letter, as we call them, which is kind of the videos that you see on the sales pages that sell stuff. We call that a VSL, video sales letter. In both of those scenarios, I want to give value in that piece of content. Even when I'm selling, and I call it education-based selling, the first part of selling in marketing is giving value, delivering value. And you always want to give value. And we talked a little bit about yesterday with Daryl Gray Jr., the young stud from Dallas who's been crushing it. We talked about what giving value is. Giving value is just really teaching people stuff. If you learn something, like one of the things that I did when I first got started, uh, 10 years ago was if I generated 5 leads, even if I didn't make any money, if I generated 5 leads in my business, my email the next morning or my video the next day would be how I generated 5 leads for free for my business. How would your business change if you could generate 5 fresh leads today? Right. So a lot of people, when they first come into marketing, whether they're doing affiliate marketing or whatever, they're looking for the big success story, and they become depressed and think that they don't have anything to share or say if they don't have a big success story. Well, that's completely untrue, because what you want to do is sell one result and then get another result and then sell that result. And by sell it, I mean market it, share what you've learned in your journey. So that's giving value. Does that make sense to everybody? Can you let us know? Matt's behind the scenes listening to. Can you let us know that makes sense to you? Just drop a comment, say makes sense. Okay. I want you guys to really be clear, and it to be crystal clear and make sense to you that you don't have to have a massive success story. You can go and generate one lead. How I generated one lead for my business, one fresh lead for free for my business, right? And this is just an example in the make money online niche. Of course, if you're in other niches, you can apply the same thing. But here's where people screw this up. All right. The second part of this is building trust, right? Building trust. And building trust is easier than you think it is. Building trust is all about a couple of things. And I'm going to just give you some tips about how to build trust with your audience that you can apply today. Because if you can learn how to give value the way that I just explained it, the way that I talked about it with Daryl Gray Jr. yesterday, if you can give value and you can also build trust, you've done it. Now, yesterday, Daryl Gray, the young kid from Dallas, said that he gets on TikTok every day for 1 to 2 hours and answers questions. Okay, I want to break that down so you understand why that builds trust with his audience. First and foremost, he's there every day. So the first thing that builds trust is consistency. Write that down. Type it in the chat box, actually. Type it in the chat box so other people can see, okay? I want people who walked away and went to the bathroom, I want them to come back and see the chat box blown up with consistency. So the first thing that builds trust is consistency. Let me give you an example of why this is true. So when a baby is born and they see the same face and the same voice, and maybe even come out of the womb and have been hearing the same voice for 9 months, the consistency, the repetition of that voice builds trust with that baby. Okay. The same way that you see in a commercial for Coca-Cola over the last 50 years or however long you've been alive on your television, even though the stuff is horrible for us, we trust it mainly because we've seen the brand everywhere we go. We see the brand on TV, we see the brand in stores, we see the brand in restaurants, and we trust it. Because if you see something enough times, you begin to just automatically trust it. It creates familiarity. You're familiar with it. So the first key to building trust is consistent. How does this apply to your business? Well, most people do something for a couple of days or a couple of weeks and then they stop. And Daryl Gray Jr. yesterday actually even touched on this. He said that most people upload videos to YouTube and then they stop. And so their audience doesn't have an expectation of when new content's going to come out. So they stop watching. Okay. So consistency is number one. All right. Consistency. There's so much psychology we could talk about in terms of consistency. But I think I've driven home the point. Consistency is incredibly important. I'll give you one last example. This show. I do this show. We do this show at Legendary. Of course, Matt hosts occasionally, at least on Tuesdays. And we show up every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We've been doing that since the beginning of the company. And I've been doing it now for almost a year. Consistency. You begin to trust. I've had more people say, just seeing you every day has given me more confidence in what we're doing here. And so the consistency of this show has created a lot of success for us. It's created a lot of success within our community, and it can do the same thing for you. Pick a platform, pick a channel, and be consistent on it. Period. I don't even care if it's Facebook ads to an email list. I don't care if it's TikTok videos. I don't care if it's YouTube videos. Pick a channel and be consistent with it. That is damn near everything. Okay, let's get into to the second tip. Okay, the second tip is making unrealistic claims. All right, making unrealistic claims. All right, so one of the big bruises, and I want you guys to type this in the chat so everybody can see it and know what to write down as a in your notes or whatever. Making unrealistic claims. All right, so one of the big black eyes that our industry, like the make money online industry and the sort of online education industry has gotten over the last couple of years, is all the rented Lambos. Now look, I'm not even going to show you. I have a really nice car that I drive that's sitting behind me, but you don't ever see it in any videos. You don't ever see it in any lives. You don't see it. You don't see me doing, like photo shoots in front of my house and in front of my car and stuff like that. Like, you see some things that are scattered within some of my marketing, but it's more used for inspirational stuff, like things that I've done for my family. And the reason why I don't use that kind of marketing, at least anymore. I did when I was younger and more inexperienced, but as I've matured in this game, I've realized that one of the best ways nowadays to separate myself from all of the clowns and the sort of image, the black eye, the image that a lot of this industry has of people, bro marketing, doing, renting Lambos. Like nowadays, if you see somebody on a Facebook ad who's got a Lambo, you either think, "Oh, I'm so impressed," or you think, what a douchebag with a rented Lamborghini. You know what I mean? Like, that's what most people think, because we've seen so much of that crap. The other way that we see these unrealistic claims, making unrealistic claims, show up, and why that loses trust with your audience, is we see it in people's marketing. Like for example, the make money online niche, people say, well, how to make $1 million, or how to make 6 figures in 6 weeks. It's an unrealistic claim. Even if one person did it, it's not realistic that the majority of people are going to do it. And the majority of people out there have never even made 6 figures. So to them, that's a stretch. Does this make sense? I want to make sure that this makes sense, because a lot of you guys think that you need, to demonstrate all this success to the world, but it can actually hurt you, right? It can actually hurt you, because most people can't even relate to it anyways. That's why in my marketing, the more mature I've got in this business, the smaller my claims have become, the smaller my examples have become, because I realize that, the smaller the example, the more achievable that it looks and appears to somebody. When somebody sees make 6 figures in 6 weeks, they think to themselves, sure, great for you, but that would never happen for me. But if you say make 600, get to $600 in 6 weeks, that's something that people can wrap their head around. Does this make sense? So making unrealistic claims is one of the fastest ways to lose trust. And my hope is that you guys are going to hear what I'm talking about today, and you're actually going to not only feel more confident and good about your marketing, but you're also going to go out there with, a different perspective and a different approach. All right. And realize that, you actually don't want to model the majority of what you see out there online, because the majority of what you see out there online, A, they're probably not making what they say they're making, and B, they're not making it consistently for very long. One of the things that I can tell you in my career that I'm most proud of in this business is that I've done what I do consistently for a long period of time. It's not important to me that I'm, you know, make a gazillion dollars in a month. I'm not. That's not the game I'm playing. The game that I'm playing is delivering value and building trust over long periods of time. Let me get to the third tip. Do what you say you're gonna do. Dang, Dave, you're hitting us with some old school timeless stuff. I am. Do what you say you're gonna do. So I'll tell you a story. I knew this guy. He was a great marketer, and he would always he loved to sell more than he loved to deliver on what he actually sold. Has anybody ever dealt with somebody like that? They love to sell more than they like to deliver on what they sold. Drop that in the comments. Do what you say you're going to do, so everybody is crystal clear on what this third tip is. Do what you say you're going to do. So I knew a guy, he loved to sell more than he loved to deliver on what he sold. And so because he was such a good marketer, he would constantly sell a lot of whatever he was marketing, whether it was an affiliate product or a course of his own. And people bought the first time. Like the first time they came upon him, they bought. And then he didn't follow through with like the bonuses he said he was going to deliver for an affiliate launch, or he sold a course but he didn't finish it, or he said that he was going to add to it but he never followed up. And eventually, not only did his customers get like pissed, but they turned on him and basically went from sort of these kind of crazed followers to people that actually looked at him like he was like a scam artist. So doing what you say you're going to do. Now, this is really important. Don't overpromise and underdeliver, okay? Underpromise and overdeliver, right? What most people do in their marketing is they overpromise and underdeliver. We have to change the way that we market to be less hypey. And if we're going to be hypey, make damn sure that we're promoting stuff that's actually going to fulfill on the promise. And so it's really important what you promote and what you sell. So if you're an affiliate and you've got people on your list who are starting to begin to trust you, and then all of a sudden you go over and you promote this shady thing because you think you can make a bunch of money, and it doesn't deliver on what the promise was, guess what? They're not going to trust you anymore. And that's one of the reasons why you don't see me promoting a bunch of crap. We could be sending all kinds of affiliate promotions to our database, like here inside of Legendary. But you know what? I'm in it for the long term. So if an affiliate, for example, any of you guys, which not all of you are affiliates of Legendary, and that's fine, right? A lot of you guys are here just for the education. But our affiliates, we treat like our business partners. So if somebody sends a customer to Legendary, we don't just start bombarding them. You ever sign up for ClickBank and then all of a sudden you start getting bombarded with like different offers? So when somebody signs up for Legendary, we don't start bombarding them with offers. Why? First of all, because we look at our affiliates like partners. We're not just going to start selling their customer stuff that they can't earn off of. But the other reason is because I don't trust most of the crap out there online. I'm not going to mess up my reputation because some buffoon can't deliver. So it's really important to do what you're going to say you're going to do. And if you're an affiliate, it's getting a little windy here. I might have to go sit in the car. I don't want to be messing up my audio now. It's really important that if you're an affiliate, that you're really careful about what you promote. Because if you promote something that the company doesn't follow through on what they say they're going to do, then you could lose a lot of your trust. Okay. I don't know if I'm blown out here. Can y'all see me? All right. All right. Man, be careful what you put your name on, my man said. Brad, what up, brother? So, do what you're gonna say you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, or be damn careful about what you promote. That's incredibly important. And um and here's the last tip. All right. Here's the last tip that I'm gonna give you today. Be your damn self. Be yourself. When I first started, I didn't think I was good enough. I'm just gonna get real with y'all because what why waste time doing this if I'm not gonna keep it real? When I first started, I didn't like myself 10 years ago. Like, my self esteem was low. I had just come off of being homeless and addicted, and I was not the same person that I am today. This business and my recovery from addiction, uh, and all the struggles of my, like, I have changed as a person. I've rewired my DNA. I'm a different man today. So when I started in this business, like, I didn't have very good self-esteem. So I looked at other people who were in the industry and I thought, ooh, maybe I should sound like them. Maybe I should try to look like them. Maybe I should try to dress like them. Maybe I should try to, you know, look, that ain't going to get you nowhere. It's really not. Authenticity is everything. Just being yourself. And most importantly, when I say be yourself, I want you to drop be yourself in the comments, but I also want you to drop this. Embrace embrace your scars. Embrace your scars. And here's what I mean by that. If you're recording a video and you stutter or mess up or do something that you don't like, keep rolling, man. Keep rolling. All right? Keep rolling. Don't stop. Don't start over. Just keep rolling. That's part of what I mean by embrace your scars. Like, I've seen people overcome so much by just embracing all their, it's kind of like it's kind of like us as we get older, man. We got to embrace our bodies, like my wife and I have seen our bodies change over the years. She's had she's had babies, and you'd have thought I had babies too, because I put on pregnancy weight just right along with her. And just like, there's this process of either you see some people as they age, they accept the aging process, and there's some people who try to deny the aging process. You know what I mean? You see it, like, especially if they got money. It's like going under the knife, taking this, taking that. And look, I'm not trying to shame anybody. I'm just saying that who you are is perfect. Who you are in your most authentic self is the most beautiful part of you. That is the perfect you, is who you are when you're just hanging out with your friends, who you are when you're just hanging out with your wife. So many of us, we're cool as hell, quirky and weird and funny when we're around, like, our people, but then we, like, turn on the camera and it's like, hello guys, this is Dave Sharpe here, coming to you from the golf course. I mean, we go just totally weird, and it's not necessary. It's just not necessary. We live in a world that you can stream and do an actual legitimate professional live stream from a parking lot at a golf course. I mean, that's the world that we live in today. And it's a beautiful thing, because you know you're either going to be exposed for trying to hide who you are. Like, eventually, you can't hide anymore nowadays because of social media and transparency. And don't even try to do something crazy, because somebody's going to get you on camera. We live in a different world. So it's like, it's kind of like trying to deny the aging process. Like, embrace it. Embrace the place that we're at as a society, and embrace who you are. And if you're uncomfortable, one of the best things that I've learned to do, and that I've seen people do, is just own it. Just say, look, I'm coming to you guys from the golf course today. I'm nervous. Like, this is one of the first lives I've ever done, but I got something on my heart. I want to deliver some value to you guys. Right? Just own it. Just say it. Like, there's so much power in just being yourself, expressing your authentic feelings. And I remember a buddy of mine, Chuck, we were doing an event in Austin, Texas one time. There was like 3,500 people in the crowd. And everybody else came up and they were trying to be slick on stage. You know, everybody was new to success and but they tried to like act like they weren't. So they come up like they were professional speakers, and they did well, and it was a good event. But then my buddy Chuck comes up and he's like, "Hey y'all, I'm nervous as hell up here." He got a standing ovation for that. He got a standing ovation. Why? Because every single person in the crowd in that moment could put themselves in his shoes and say, if I was up there, I'd be nervous as hell too, you know? And I think that's one of the reasons why, that's one of the reasons why I would hope that I've built trust with you guys, is because you know that I'm not trying to BS you. It just is what it is. I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. I'm not trying to tell you that I'm something that I'm not. I admit I'm an old school, ex-homeless, ex-junkie, ex-high school dropout, teenage father, all that stuff. Actually, I'm not ex anything. All those things were just chapters of my life. And I turned my life around. This business has changed my life. My recovery work has changed my life. My wife has changed my life. Like learning these principles from other mentors, either directly that I've worked with or indirectly that I've listened to on videos like this, has changed my life. And this is where I'm at today. Like I would hope that the trust, I think I'm only teaching you guys stuff that I've done and that I've taught others and that's worked. So take those tips and run with them. Just know, I know the wind's getting a little crazy here again. I'm gonna try to wrap up here in a second, but just know, guys, that there's two parts of marketing. I think as an affiliate, particularly, but also as building courses and stuff. And it's about delivering value, and it's also about building trust. And they're both equally as important. In building trust, the functions that I talked about today are some of the most important to building trust. It's not a magical thing. We've always said in sales, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Well, how do you get people to trust you? Well, I've laid them out today. One of the surefire ways to get people not to trust you is, like, you also got to just think about regular things that are similar to what I'm talking about, like a relationship. Like, don't go, like, don't do something to your audience that you wouldn't do to your spouse. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go cheat. I'm not going to, and that means I'm not going to be, throwing my audience different crap every week, trying different things. Like, I'm not going to cheat on them. I'm going to focus on long-term relationship instead of one night stands. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you build trust with people. And a lot of the principles that you guys, that's just one of the other things that's so important to me, is to remind you that all of you guys already know how to be successful, or at least you know the principles of how to be successful. You just got to apply it to what you're doing here with your marketing business, okay? Or your education business, right? Whether you're an affiliate or selling your own education. So that's it from me today. Wish me luck. I'm going to go try not to hurt myself or somebody else out here on this course. I'm going to get through a couple of hours and then get back to the office and get some work done. I wish you all a legendary day. Be legendary, each one of you guys. I trust you. I trust you that you guys have the power, the potential to be able to do anything that you want, that we can create one of the most powerful communities of legendary marketers this world's ever seen. And I think that we're well on the way to do that. So have a great day. Be legendary. I'll talk to you guys.